Good.
What is the difference between India region partner agreements and what is the difference between other region partner agreements? Okay, so India region, you will have GST and value added, you will have validations, and everything related to tax will come for India region, but other regions we don't have that.
Right, exactly.
Only for EMEA, maybe there is a validation for tax rules, but other than that, we don't have anything. But GST, and when we talk about it, is always partner agreement. India region partner agreement.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll continue from here only. So this, we will enter GST number, then the business type is B2B. If the GST number is blank, business type is B2C. Okay. And by default, exempt type. That means by default, user is taxable per PO. Unless until they go ahead and attach a tax document saying that they want to opt for a tax exemption, they will always be taxable. How to get that, or how to understand that this from this field, that they are always by default taxable per PO. Okay, so any non-SEZ user, any non-SEZ partner tax type will always be a taxable. Any SEZ taxpayer type which you can see on the screen will have the option whether to be taxable or to go for the tax exemption. So what I mentioned in the last session also, that if this is SEZ, right, if the GSTN is SEZ, then only this option of tax exemption tab is available. Other than that, if you are using non-SEZ GSTN, then this tab will not be available.
So that will always be taxable.
Right, that will always be taxable. But when it is SEZ, when you have put the SEZ GSTN, you have validated it, you got the SEZ taxpayer type, then this tab automatically enables, and you can go ahead and opt for the tax exemption. Okay. Hope this is clear till here.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We will have multiple scenarios which we will cover as a part of this. Okay. I'll be covering few. So again, last time also I mentioned there is a field called secondary tax ID, which is mandatory now. And there is a validation that you can have either 10-digit TAN number, or there is a format that's a mixture of digits and number, digits and alphabets. If that is not given, if the user doesn't have that secondary tax ID available, then they will enter not available in this field, but they cannot keep it blank. They will not be able to save the agreement unless until this field is filled or populated.
Okay, and this is for says the taxable only?
No, for anything, for India region.
For India. Okay.
Yes.
Also, see, directly it comes like secondary tax ID. So can we assume like the whatever GSTN details we are providing, that will act as primary tax ID?
Yes, that is the main one. Suppose they always want to have one more option to provide the TAN number, right? There is a GSTN number in India, there is a TAN number. So to provide the TAN number, they need some field. Then they ask for the secondary tax ID. That's why we are populating the TAN number.
For exemption case also we require the secondary tax ID. Yes.
Anything, yes.
Oh.
It is not dependent on any exemption, non-exemption scenario.
Okay.
Okay, whether it's a taxable, whether it's exempt, whether it is SEZ, non-SEZ, B2B, B2C. If it is India region, you should have this field populated. Okay, whether they have the primary GST and suppose they don't have it, right? Still that field is mandatory. So you can mention, okay, users is not having the value, then they will put it is not available. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Going ahead. So now the option for India region, we have the option of INR currency, right? Because India INR currency is used, but one more option which is enabled is USD currency. So India region can have two currencies. Their invoices can be created in two currencies, INR and USD, because there are still some USD users, some companies which will be dealing in USD. Right. But that USD scenario will only come when you have SEZ, GSTIN.
For only SEZ.
Right.
Okay. What if we have already existing customers with the nonsense? And they are having the USD as the currency?
And then there will be validation. They cannot cross. They cannot send it for approval.
Okay.
And that will not happen, right? Because there's a new function, new implementation. As a part of IBE MVP, so there will not be any historic data where you have as non-SCZ and tax currency. I mean currency as USD, right? Because India region came in as a part of IBE MVP.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Singapore one. Yes.
Right. So there only we introduced USD currency scenario and SCZ non-SCZ. So like that. Now this is 36, right? Let us say I will change my GSTI number to a non-SCZ. Validate it. Whenever you do an update on the GSTIN, whether it's like from moving from blank to a proper value or changing the GSTI number, you always have to validate it. Unless until you validate it, your flow will not work. I mean, the GST information will not populate, right? Correct information will not populate.
Okay.
So, and even the format validation is also important. So always users will verify first. Second is they will get the call out. Okay, whatever GSTIN you have populated, whether it is getting the proper information from the PwC portal. Once it fetches the information from PwC portal, we can see that information in GSTIN information here. Taxpayer type, GSTIN, state code, and business type, those fields. This window takes some time to load.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have it out, Ashutosh.
Yes, Saita.
So after this, it will go to the Oracle system and get the tax calculations of the invoice, right? So what are the values to consider? The GST and ID state code. Based on that, to give the percentage of the tax. What exactly?
So that is again, I mean, after orders are processed, right? We are not aware like what is exactly how they are used or what percentage of the tax that they are calculating, right? That is the invoice part, which revenue team is going to take care.
Right. Exactly. That one I'm asking. Do you have any idea which field in this particular agreement they are considering?
No. So they will not consider as a particular field from agreement. That's as far as I know, right? Because what we are passing to the downstream is a default contract. From contract, they need some information. What information they are fetching from contract is the GST number, the number status, and the business type.
Okay.
So the tax calculation will be on different parameter itself.
Okay, and there is no direct call from agreement to the finance system, right?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So now it is SCZ. I'll just, so you know, I already explained, right? There's a validation that this cannot be different. Whenever you try to do any update on the agreement, you try to send it for approval, you'll always end up getting the validation that this should be same. So this, I'll just change it non-SCZ. I want to show here that USD scenario. That's why I've changed it to non-SCZ. Now, I change it to USD. And see, there's a validation. What it says is, if the partner text type for India is SCZ, currency can either be USD or INR. If the partner text type for India is non-SCZ, it can only be INR. So hope this is clear.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Now let us change your GSTN back to the sorry. So now we are going to move to the USD part. What will happen in USD, right? When I update the currency to USD, when you send the agreement for approval, there will be USD currency approval. There is one more team, actually two more queues through which the approval will go, because you have currency as USD. So once those two teams pass that step or approve that step, then only you can go ahead and approve the agreement. That means there is an additional USD currency approval which gets triggered when the currency is USD. That doesn't happen in INR. Okay?
No, didn't get the last point, Ashutosh.
So whenever there is a change, I mean, there is a USD currency on the agreement, and you send that agreement for approval, one more approval gets triggered, which is called USD currency approval, where two of the teams are involved.
Okay. So for IN it is not there, but only US we have it. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Additional approval they wanted when it is USD currency.
Got it. Okay. And it will not support any other currencies, right?
No.
Okay. Got it.
Support in the sense there is no validation as such. You can create it, but that will not be used, right? Because downstream also the wrong currency is going to pass.
Right, exactly.
It's like an invalid scenario.
Right.
Now, then this currency is USD. The approach status approval required. We have this in place. Let me populate the request type field and send this for approval. See, USD currency approval, and there are two queues to which these are assigned: India Deal Desk FSQ and Treasury FXQ. Only when these two queues approve this USD currency approval, then only you can proceed for the complete approval of the agreement. Okay. Now we have few users. Okay, specific users only from these two queues. Treasury FXQ, we can have Peter Chow, Joshua Mann, and Hilary McKenzie. Right? And from the Deal Desk queue, you can have Ankur Shrivastava, Gaurav Meshram, and Parikshit Kanatkar. These people only can approve. Other than that, if you don't want to log in, if you want to save your time for testing part, right, you can make yourself as a delegate approver. You can take any of these users. I hope, do you know like how to create delegate approver?
Delegate approval. I forgot actually earlier. I heard that.
Let me show you that first.
Before that, Astos, can you show where that Treasury FXQ is there? Like, I do not see that assigned to that one. Like, assigned to India Deal Desk FX, right? Okay. And these are the two ones you were referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
The members of these queues are this.
Okay. You are already maintaining that.
So as a part of story, right, when the requirement came, these people only should have access to approve it as a part of Treasury FXQ or the India Deal Desk queue. Okay. What you can do, you can add yourself in this queue. Right. So let me show you that India Deal Desk. How to create backup delegate, right?
Right.
That will be helpful because a lot of approvals will come, right? In partner also few approvals are there, but when you go to reseller, most of every stage you have approval.
Right. Exactly.
So that time it's better to have otherwise you have to always log in with that user and it will take more time, right? So IBE. You can go to the app launcher, search for backup. Even business use this many times, So here you can create a new record. Suppose let me see all backups, delegate approvers. So
how did you this page, Ashutosh? Can you show once again?
Yeah, go to app launcher, the 9 dots, and search for backup.
Okay.
Backup delegate approvers. This is the object. You click on that, you land up on this, and then click on all. So you want to see the existing records.
Okay.
So these are the existing records which we have created. Current user is Daniel Nosetti. Backup delegate approver is Ashutosh. Like that, you can see. Current user means the person. Suppose it is going to be assigned to Adam, right? So Adam is the current user, and you want yourself to be the delegate approver. Then your name will come here.
There are multiple columns for this backup delegate approver, right?
Right. So I'll show you what we are doing. You click on new button to create a new record. Suppose our record is not there. There is no delegate approver for the user which is assigned, right, in that approval. So you go here, you check the checkbox is delegate. Current user, suppose will say Daniel Nosetti. That is already there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just giving an example. Search for it. And then delegate up. So you can have 3 approvers. Suppose you can keep yourself as one of the approver. And second one, if suppose you are going on vacation, right? Then who is going to approve? You keep the second tester name.
Okay.
And there is a third approver also. So these 3 people on behalf of Daniel Nosetti can approve that record.
Ashutosh, is that hierarchy, right? Role hierarchy. If I'm the approver, I'm the only approver, and I went to leave. So can my manager can approve this one?
No.
Okay.
There is no role hierarchy concept here.
Okay.
You have to be the delegated approver to approve this. Otherwise, you will not be able to do.
Okay.
In that sense, what you can say, Daniel Nosetti's manager also should be able to approve this, right?
No,
but
we need to add it here.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Manish, you had the question, right?
Yes. So suppose current user is Daniel Nosetti, right? And after that, approver 1 is Ashutosh, approver 2 is Saiti, and approver 3 is Manish. Okay. So now first time when request is created, so if you are delegating, like you are taking the ownership of this one, like first it will come to you. If you are not accepting, then only it will go to Saiti, and she is not accepting, then it will come to me, or I can also directly take the ownership of that.
You can also directly take the ownership. It's like OR concept here, Manish. Any of these 3 approvers can do.
Okay, now can you go to the request which you were trying to create?
Suppose here you can see, right? I have provided Ashutosh and OEQ.
Okay. 2 names are there. Okay.
In your scenario, it will be Ashutosh, Sahiti, and Manish. Okay. Why I have kept 2 names, right? Suppose sometimes I'm testing with my user, and mostly I'm logged in as OEQ, as a Alliance portal manager, right, to create the agreement. So mostly this will be the logged in person. So it will be easy for me if this is the delegate approver. I can directly approve it instead of logging in with my user, right? That is how I do.
And how you will approve? Like you will get.
Yeah, I'll show you. So now let me submit it. First, this will be needs to be approved, and then it will just be assigned to this. Okay. So we'll see that currently the status says not submitted. So when in the approval it says as assigned to that approval, we have to take and we have to log in with that person or the queue. So we'll see it now how it goes. Currently the status here is not submitted, right? When I submit for approval, it will be submitted, and first it will be assigned to this person. But don't go by the sequence. Never think that, okay, always this will be in this sequence. Suppose there are 10 approvals, right? 10 rows are there. And you are thinking, no, it is going one by one. Sometimes what happens, right? It takes this and then it directly goes to 3rd or 4th also sequence.
How come, like, then what will happen to 2nd level approval?
That's not, there is no, it's not called sequence. These 2 are in sequence, but this is 1 approval. This is 2nd approval, USD currency approval. Like that, there will be 3rd approval, 4th approval.
Okay. So in the first one, partner agreement, what can we tell the name of? So in this one, when first one approves, then it will go to 2nd one.
Correct. This is subsequence is there, 1, 2.
Okay. Right. But these 2 are not in sequence.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
There may or may not be. That we will find out through the status field.
Okay.
I'll just submit it. Yes. Because in the individual approvals, we have defined the subsequence that should be 1 and 2. But between the approvals, we have not defined any subsequence, right?
Okay, yeah.
But since the second approval is Q, we always expect that, okay, Q will be taking later. First, the product or agreement approval should be done.
Okay.
This, first level manager approval should be done. So always the first approval is the first level manager approval. First level manager is the field on the agreement.
Okay.
So suppose OEQ is logged in here, right? And here, if you see, the first level manager is Daniel Nosetti. Second level manager is Charles Pell. So in the approval rules in the back end, when you go, we'll find out that this approval always triggers to the first level manager, which is Daniel Nosetti. Second approval is sales ops. So there is a field called sales ops on the partner agreement. This one. Currently, it is not populated. So in the back end, I have defined myself as a backup admin. So this is assigned to me. If there is no backup admin, then it will be assigned to 1800. That is like a random system user. Nobody can update it. You have to update the backup admin so that it will be assigned to you. Otherwise, you have to log in with that user, whoever is there in the sales ops. In business scenario, in actual terms, right, this will always be populated because they know, right, sales ops, who is the sales ops.
Okay.
Hope this is clear, Saiti.
Yeah, I'm got it.
Yeah. So now this is sent for approval. Now the status is pending approval. Now, because I'm logged in as OEQ, I'll go to my approvals. Here, this is my approval tab. Suppose it is assigned to Mike Wolf. I logged in as Mike Wolf. I go to this agreement and then go to the My Approvals tab. One more option is you'll get an email. You can directly approve through the email. Okay. I got 2 emails. One for Ashutosh and one for OEQ.
Yeah, you might have changed the email address.
Yeah, right. So here we have my approvals. And if you see, first it is assigned to this. Assigned. Status is assigned to whom? Daniel Nosetti. Subsequence 1. Total, there are 4. So if you go to all approvals, right, you will find that, okay, there are 4 approvals. 1, 2, 3. And this is checked. It is assigned to this. And in my queue, that means those 2 queues are there for USD currency approvals. You'll find it here. Okay. Now I go to my approvals. And approve it.
My approval, like, how did you go to my approval?
So I'll show you share.
Okay.
See what happened here. I approved first one. So other approver comments came and this is approved. Approved by delegate with comments OEQ. So it always says that approved by the delegate person. Approver comments is approved. Then now it got assigned to the second one. Subsequence 2, it got assigned to me. Or OEQ is a delegate approver again. I went to my approvals page through this button, Manish. Here on the agreement, top right side.
Okay. This one.
When you click on this button, we'll land up on this page.
Okay. So here, suppose you have 10 things to approve, like you will see everything, not just the current one, right?
Correct. We have 3 tabs right here. My all approvals, and my queue role approvals. So third tab is for the queues. Second tab is whichever like you can approve.
Individual.
And first is all approvals. All the approvals, maybe 10, what you are saying, right? The count, that will be reflected there.
Okay.
Now this is gone. My approvals, I can only approve this. Now I go to the my queues. Again, I got the email saying that your approval request, because it is delegate approval is OEQ, right? And even my name is also there in the assigned to. So now I can approve it.
Okay.
From India deal desk queue, as a delegate approver, I can approve. Or I can log in with the delegate user. So what will happen, right? How to approve this one? There is a take ownership because it's a part of queue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any member from the queue can approve it. So what they will do, once this is assigned to this queue, they will get an email like I got that there's approval request. So all those queue members will get the email, and then what they will do, they will just take the ownership. Any one of them, whoever is free, right, they will take the ownership and approve it.
Okay, so ownership is something like locking that one, right?
Correct. It's like assigning to myself. Some tasks are given by the manager to the whole team. Now, whoever is free in that team will take up the task and make themselves as the owner, and so that other people will not take it. Okay, this error came because I know there is there's an issue actually. Not issue, I would say. I mean, OIQ, when we are doing everything with OIQ, right, we will find up this. That is not going to happen in actual scenario, right? Everything is not going to do by OIQ.
Yeah.
So we can refresh the page and it will work. Not a problem. But better, I'll show you the actual scenario. So we have this, right, Hillary McKenzie. Log in with Hillary McKenzie. Now here, there was one issue which was reported in IBE MVP, right? And it was like a gap in their requirement only. What was happening, not sure whether, like, did I show the tax approval thing in the last session? Anybody remembers?
No, I remember only validating whether that data is enough.
Then I'll show you. So what will happen, right? Now, suppose a user want to go for the tax exemption. In between the USD currency scenario, I'm saying this because I want to show you one more item actually which we worked on in the current release, IBE MVP Plus. So what will happen, right? Suppose from taxable PO2, they want to go for the exemption. They go to the this tab, say that, do you want tax exemption? Yes, I want tax exemption. Now they have two ways how they can do it. Either they can sorry guys, just give me a second. I just put the headphone on. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah. So they can opt for the tax exemption by two ways. First is what they will do, they will attach a new document. Okay, attach a new document with start date and end date. So you can always have so the start date and end date tells you that this tax document is valid within this tenure only. Okay. Suppose there is one start date which is 2019, now October 9th. Automatically, it will populate the end date 5 years from the start date. So the tax document is valid from 5 years from the start date, and whenever you populate, that will come. You upload the tax document. Any PDF will work. Okay. So like that. Suppose I take this one. Reason for uploading new document. Why? Because you already have approved document. So what will happen, right? Initially, in the new scenario, you don't have any approved documents. So user will go ahead and upload a new document, upload this one. There's already a pending document here. And there is already a pending document. So I'll not upload this one. When you upload this document here, automatically the pending document will reflect here. Tax document pending. That means this is not approved.
Okay. And there is only one document that we need to attach, right?
In business sense, they will attach 3 documents, but for testing, we can attach 1. Okay. Now, what will happen when you attach a new document? There will be new approvals which will trigger to verify the document, whether the document is correct, whether the dates are matching with the exact document or not. Okay, so the approval team, the India tax approval will be triggered, and the team, that approval team, right, that will verify the document. Once they approve, then only you can go ahead and put to the next approval. This is the first way. Second is, you already have the approved document. You added the document, you got the approval from the India tax approval team. After a few years, you're coming back to the same agreement and want to add a new document. That time, what you will do, you already have few approved documents. So these approved documents, from where they are coming, as soon as you upload a new document, right, there is a different object in tax certificate object which gets created in the backend. Okay, one approval, one record is created. That approved, when it is approved, you will have one tax certificate record getting created, which will have this attachment, which you're passing here. Okay, so in future, if you come back to this agreement, you'll find a list of the documents with the same GSTIN number. Suppose, see here, right, this GSTIN number I might have used multiple times. That's why you see so many approval documents here, or so many documents which are approved with different dates.
Okay. And this is for only particular customer, right? If the other customer is there, so he can't use the pre-approved one.
So everyone can use it.
Oh, okay.
Whoever opts for tax exemption, they will have the option to add a new document, or they can choose the existing document which is already approved.
Okay.
But when they add the new document, they have to go through the approval process. When they choose the existing approved documents, then it is a direct process, because you already gone through the approval process earlier, right? You don't have to go through it again.
Okay.
So just click on this button. It will automatically take one of the documents from this. You don't have to select anything. Is it clear? Any questions in this?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So why I took this scenario, right? Suppose I added a new document now. Okay, there is already a document. I uploaded it. And what you will find, right? As many documents you upload, the start date and end date will always remain same. Even though I give new start date and end date, it will always match with the first document which was uploaded.
Oh.
Okay, they don't want to change the start date and end date for different documents or different uploaded documents.
Okay.
So suppose this was given earlier, right? With this specific date, start date as 9/19/2020. Now I added a new document with different date, but still it will populate with the same date, because the start date and end date for all the documents will be same in the actual business scenario. So I upload 100 documents, still my start date and end date will be same for all the documents. That is a requirement. Okay.
What now, if the end date is over, like the agreement end date is past date?
Agreement end date, what you're saying, or the tax document end date?
Yeah, document, yes. Document end date is over. It's already 2022, somewhere in the August, it is completed. End date is done.
So you cannot, first of all, when you cannot upload a past end dated document,
you can't do it, right?
Right. That's the validation is there. Secondly, in actual scenario, right, that is where the continuation comes into picture. Suppose tomorrow this end date is like coming close, right? Tomorrow it is the last date for this document. So I think before there is some tenure, or maybe 90 days is the period. Before 90 days, they will users will get notification that your tenure is getting over, your tax document expiry date is coming. You please go ahead and update it. Either add a new document or take existing new document.
Okay. It's once before 90 days, right?
Right.
After that, when it is crossing just 1 week before, something like that.
Right. So they will come back here, again add a new document, again add new fresh start date and end date, go for the approval process, and then it will update automatically.
Okay. But the day before I can add the same document, right?
Right, yes.
Okay.
Now, what will happen, I'll just share. So I submitted that. As soon as I submitted, or as soon as I upload any document, right, my exempt type field changes to exempt from taxable purpose. I'll refresh the page. So you see, this is exempt. Because you have uploaded the tax document. And the approval status changes to approval required. Why? Because it again wants a number approval.
Okay. And we have tax exemption code here in this particular.
No, not on this. So that is on the contract. Agreement is not dealing with the tax exemption code.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I showed you this tax exemption scenario in between the USD currency approvals, now I will trigger the approval again. So earlier what was happening in IBE MVP, right, when we completed that, and in production when they tested, right, what happened, even though the India tax approval, the tax team approved the document, right, but whenever there was other approval after that tax approval, and that other team rejected it, their approval, saying that there's some issue. And when you're re-triggering the approvals, right, India tax team again has to approve it. You understand this scenario?
Got it.
Right. India, there's one more approval got added, right? See?
Right.
India tax approval got added. So this is approved, but this team rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
So it will impact the overall agreement status. Right?
Right.
And what will happen? You don't want this team to, again, next time when you're re-triggering the approvals, you don't want this team to approve it again. Why? They will waste their time, because they'll say we already approved this document. Right. So for that scenario, we again had this October release, actually, where we passed this scenario that is called reapproval tax exemption.
Mm-hmm.
And we resolved this. Now what is happening, right? Even if this is approved, but any of the person from this queue, right, rejects it, then also after you re-trigger the approvals, this will not come, because this is already approved.
So what's the criteria that we are dealing here? And before it's India tax approval also need to be done, right? Approval. It need to go to the approval. Now you are telling like it is not going to approval. Once it is done, it's done. They will not based on the registration. Is there any field or anything, any criteria that we are checking?
This is the criteria. IB tax time is exempt and tax exemption pre-approved is false.
Oh, pre-approved is false. Okay. Got it.
Then only this should be triggered. Right. Now, this was not setting to false. Or this was not setting to true, actually. That's why this was always getting triggered.
That is also automatic process, tax exemption pre-approved one, or we need to approve that?
No. Whenever you approve it, it will set to true.
Okay.
Earlier it was not happening. That's why it was re-triggering. Right?
Okay.
So this is why I wanted to show you the scenario. This will cover our existing October release also. That now, even suppose, let me submit it again. So now, since you have already seen the approval side, I'll quickly approve it. And don't think that when you reject from any of the approvals, the agreement status will say rejected. It will always be changed to approval required. Okay.
So which case then it will be rejected?
No, it will not be rejected anytime. It will never be rejected. Individual approvals may will show you as rejected here, but overall agreement approval status will never say rejected. Because there is a reason the individual teams rejected it. You'll go back and rectify that reason, work on it, and once that is fixed, you again send it for approval. That's why the status changes to approval required instead of rejected. It gives wrong picture, right? Oh, suddenly the agreement is rejected. But when it is an approval required, that means there is some miss in the approvals. There was something which was not expected. Suppose you upload a tax document, they found that okay, this tax document is not proper. They reject the entire tax approval. Again, that agreement went into approval required status. You upload a new document, which is a correct one, and then again trigger the approval, and then they verify and then approve it. So now it is a pending approval. Go to my approvals. It's the first one. First level manager approval. Just give us a few seconds to approve it. See, automatically it got approved. Now here I'll approve this again. This is sales ops. And simultaneously I'm getting emails also to approve it because I have set my email as OEQs, right? So that's the reason. Now this is also approved. Yeah. Now my approval says 0. There are 3 queues now. One is USD currency, then India tax queue, and in the inside USD currency there are 2. Right?
Yes. Okay.
Now these 2 I can do it. I cannot do it together. It has to be one by one. But if you try to do it together, you will land up in error. There will be a exception coming up on the page. Okay. Now what we'll do? We will approve this one and we will reject through this. We'll take the ownership. Ownership I can take anyways, not a problem. Because there's no sales ops, we land up on this one here always. Wait. You might be thinking my name is not there in the delegate approver. There can be a question, right? How I am able to assign this India tax approval queue to myself?
Right, exactly.
So I am there, I am added to the India tax approval queue. That is the reason.
Oh, okay.
So now go to my approvals. Approve this one. Yeah, this is approved. take ownership. Okay, we'll end up in this only.
What happened? Any existing issue?
No. That is data issue.
Okay.
Because there is no sales ops, right? So for the validation. Let me log in as this person, Hilary McKinsey. You can see the profile sales operations, credit and operations. What is that? So what they will do, they will go to this. So Hilary McKenzie belongs to Treasury FX queue. So I took the ownership from that queue. I reject it. See, as you can see, this is sales rejected.
Right.
And here also
overall status of this agreement is
approval required.
Approval required. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I go ahead and again submit for approval. See, we have only USD currency approval and we have only the first level approval.
Right. The
tax approval did not.
Okay.
So just to save time, I'll just manually update the status to approve.
Sure.
So this is clear.
Yeah.
Now they will log in and approve it. So once your agreement is approved, you are good to create a COA record, that is default contract for the downstream team. What they will do with that contract, right? We are going to give them draft contract, and they will clone the draft contract to create active contracts out of that. There can be n number of active contracts from the default contract or draft contract. So there is one agreement, one draft contract, but n number of active contracts. And then again, inside that, they'll process orders, a number of orders from those active contracts. They don't directly use the contract which we create, but they clone and get some data out of it. What is the data? They use GSTN information, billing address, shipping address, which is coming from the account. Some few fields, but not everything.
Okay, it's like we are just providing some template.
Right? Correct. Now I'll just approve it. And users will never update this field manually because it will be SOX compliance. So they always go via approval process.
Like, who is the user in this case? Like, we are creating, so what will you call it? Like end user yours?
End user. I mean, our business actually. When I say user, it's our business. Alliance Portal Manager, partner operations, these people. Partner team. Right now, there is an option called create COA record here. Last time, I think I showed you the validations, right? There is a validation on this customer full legal name. It cannot be it cannot be less than 3 digits. Then billing city, billing street, shipping street, pin code validations.
Yes, you showed us.
Yeah. So that will come here only when you're trying to create COA record. If the data is not proper, you'll end up getting those validations.
And we are adding this application and the products in the initial phase only, right, Rashmi?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, at certain places, you will find that validation that application name should be updated. Here also, COA record you cannot create without application.
Right. Exactly. Partner catalog, product catalog, something will create, right?
Correct. That is very important.
Yeah.
It's like a product.
Yeah, product.
So now we are done till IBE MVP. Okay, which was, I think, till May. We create the default contract, we pass that information, GSTIN information to the downstream team, and they will take it forward. Okay, here if you see, right, this is the currency is USD dollar, taxpayer type SEZ, number status is active. And these values they are going to use. Tax registration number is our GST number, business type, tax type. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Now,
I have one question that might be out of context this time, but what is difference in MVP? And recently there were some talks regarding MVP plus, right?
Correct. That's what I'm going to come now.
Okay.
So this is what we have developed, we worked on, we released, and that is now working in production, right? Okay. As a part of MVP. Now, MVP plus phase, the requirement came from the business saying that what will happen when your default contract is already there, but the operations team, the partner team updates the GSTN number. Suppose they want to move from SEZ to non-SEZ. Okay. Now, see, I am constantly changing the GST number. So they like that also, they have access. This profile is having access to this along with the permission set, right? So they can anytime update this. The scenario can come when they want to move from a SEZ to non-SEZ. Again, there can be many number of permutation combination. SEZ to non-SEZ, non-SEZ to SEZ, like that. So in that scenario, what will happen to your contract? Because you already created it. That information needs to pass to downstream also, right? Getting my point? I updated the GSTN number on the agreement, but my default contract is already created. Right. I cannot create a new default contract because it is already in use. There are already orders and active contracts created out of it.
Exactly.
Right. Then in that case, how will you deal with this scenario? Then that is what we have worked on in the current release, in the IBE MVP Plus, our main story, major story, where what we are doing, we are syncing our default and active contracts based on the update we have done on the agreement. Hope this statement is clear. We are updating default contract and all the related active contracts based on the update what we have done on the agreement. Here I did update on the GSTN number. I updated the GSTN number from SEZ to non-SEZ. Okay?
Okay, this is one way, like upstream to downstream.
Correct.
But what the reverse way?
There is no reverse way.
No reverse way.
No reverse way. You cannot expect that you make a change on the contract and it will reflect on the agreement. That's not going to happen.
And one more thing, Ashutosh, like when we are ready with the final agreement, you told like people make a copy of this one and they use it for downstream. So how things will be updated there? Like their usage might be different from our flow, right?
Right. So what they are going to do, right? They will create new orders. Orders can be new, but the contracts cannot be new.
Okay.
Understood? There is always one default contract which we are going to pass. Whatever is going to come out of it is a copy of it, right? So unless this default contract is proper, is synced with the agreement, you cannot expect other contracts and its related orders to be in like with proper data. Correct? And the invoices will be wrong. Because what you're doing here, you're giving SEZ GSTN here, but when you generate your invoice, that comes in non-SEZ. Right? Because users have updated the GSTN. So that sync has to be maintained. Right? To maintain that sync, we have developed this functionality now, where the sync has to be maintained. And what we are doing, suppose now I have made the change on the GSTN. Because the GSTN number is changed, it is changed from SEZ to non-SEZ. I validated it, so it became non-SEZ here. Partner text type also I update to non-SEZ. And because I made a change, there is an approval triggered. So any update you do, and again you see, right, USD currency cannot be. So this scenario with USD currency is invalid. You cannot have a change in GSTN number with a USD currency scenario. Because what will happen, right? We are not syncing the currency field. So agreement, you will have INR, and contract, you will have USD currency, which is completely wrong, which is like violating the data integrity.
Okay.
Right. So what they will do, there's one more thing in the downstream word which they use is PCCT, Partner Channel Contract Term. This we are not updating. So anytime if they want to go with USD currency scenario, they have to create a new agreement. That is the only option. They cannot expect our functionality saying that you're already syncing the default contract. We will use that functionality, that feature, and we can go ahead. No. Because your currency can change, but your currency is also used in this object, PCCT. Here we are not updating the currency. Then there is a mismatch, right?
Right.
Agreement is having INR currency, contract is having USD currency. Even though you update the currency on the contract, your PCCT is still having the INR currency. So many things are there. That's why we cannot go ahead and have this USD currency. So this becomes an invalid scenario now. They always have to create a new agreement if they want to go ahead and change the currency. But for now this is INR, this is non-SEZ. So what I'll do here also, that I'll manually change this currency for now. So now approval gets triggered. Whatever change you do on the agreement, if there is a change expected on the contract, right, that should pass through the approval. That is expectation for business. Suppose you are making a change in this field, you need an approval. You're making a change on any of these fields, you need an approval for that.
Okay.
So that validate a button, right, that triggers approval. Once you validate the GSTN, you get the approval required field. It automatically changes from approved to approval required. And approval required from whom? From the first line manager and other people.
Got it.
Hope I'm making sense.
Right.
Yes.
Now you can see there is one approval. So what ultimately business wants, right? Whatever change which is going to flow to the contract, they always want the approvals to trigger. Unless until there is approval, how they will be notified? Right? Suppose somebody says, no, I don't want to go ahead with this change. You have already made a change on the agreement, but I don't want that to happen on the contract. Then they will reject this approval. Right? Approval means...
Like I have to join another meeting. Can we continue in another day?
Sure. So I'll just close in 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
think we already have 1 hour done. So this is I just wanted to show the approval. You see the GST number approval. And whenever there is a change on the GSTIN from SEZ to non-SEZ, this approval gets triggered.
So again, this will also go to some queue or like person?
No, person only. Same person here. So we can continue from here tomorrow. Okay?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Thanks.